Good morning. It's Monday, July 12th. And this morning I want to tell you about what I read over the weekend about Biden pressing Putin to act on ransomware attacks and at hints of retaliation. Biden called Putin on Friday and told him to move against the ransomware groups operating in Russia. Warned him that the United States is prepared to respond if the cyber attacks are not stopped. Now, I don't know if Putin could really do that. He claims that these people who are attacking have no relationship to the Russian government. But Biden has pressed them and said, it doesn't matter. You are responsible. And if it doesn't stop, then we, the United States, are going to take action. Biden also said that the two governments are going to communicate on a regular basis when each of us thinks that something is happening in another country that affects the home country, domestic. But I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if Russia is so prepared to call us and if we're so prepared to call them. But I think it would be good if the two men spoke every 2 weeks or so, or every month or so. That wouldn't be bad. You know, from my experience in the computer field, that stopping cyber attacks is not an easy thing to do. I mean, if you look at what's happening on the internet, where the login procedures have doubled, where you have to have a password and then a key identification, and then maybe they give you a telephone call to make sure that you're the right person on the system. So a lot of stuff is going on that's making it more complicated to use your computer. So I don't know exactly what we could do about the cyber hackers. Because remember one thing about them. They are highly intelligent people, and they are usually one step ahead of those who are trying to protect the systems. Because the only thing that the protectors can do is recognize the vulnerability after it has taken place. Biden told reporters with a smile when asked if he really would go after the cyber attackers in Russia. And he said yes. And then Biden went on optimistically to say, I believe we're going to get cooperation. But if we don't get cooperation, we're not going to telegraph our actions. We're going to go after the cyber warriors. And we will make sure that they understand that they have made a mistake messing with the United States. Now, some of the actions that we do will be made public because it's good for the world to know that we're not pussycats. However, many of the actions that we take against these criminals will not be shown to the public. It will be mysterious because that's what we have to do. We have to keep them on edge. We can't show them our game plan because these are not dummies. We are not dealing with stupid people. The ransomware attackers and other hackers are just as smart as we are, if not much smarter than we are. So if we counterattack, you may not know anything about it. And we certainly won't make it public. I'll tell you this, that Biden and his team are not soft. They are not the way they have been portrayed by the right and the far right. Joe Biden might not be at the very top of his game now, but he has surrounded himself with many good people, and he is not soft. You can see that when he talks about what he has to do. Now, there are many of you out there who take a different view of that because maybe you've never met a really tough guy who speaks softly. The battle with the ransomware attacker is not going to be easy to win, and it's not going to be something that is broadcast for the public to see. And I don't know that we can ever really win it 100%. We can just make it difficult for them because the internet is a fluid battlefield. It changes constantly. So I don't know that you can really control those who are willing to take advantage of the criminal opportunities that lay out there. This is a battlefield that encompasses the entire universe. universe. The Russians are a small part of that universe, but they are clearly identifiable. And we believe that Moscow has sanctioned these attacks, if not outright sanction, but just by not doing anything about what's going on is a sanction enough. Doing nothing, the Russians have sanctioned these attacks. And we have asked them to do something about these attacks, but they have ignored our pleas. Of course, they have denied knowledge of the attacks. Now, Moscow and Washington have disagreed over whether the United States had formally sought Russian assistance to stop the ransomware attacks. Kremlin put out a statement that said Putin told Biden that Russia had not received any requests from any relevant U.S. department in the last month, despite the readiness of the Russian side to jointly stop crime in the cyber area. But Biden officials disagree with that. They have disputed that statement. They were telling reporters in a conference call that multiple requests had been made by the United States to Russia through the normal diplomatic channels. Now, maybe you have to go through the back channels. Maybe normal channels don't get to Putin. Or maybe we're talking to the wrong normal channels. So this remains a problem, as I see it, in our universe. The internet is fertile ground for these ransomware attackers. And it's going to be very difficult to stop them because the stakes are very high. As you see, they can collect millions by putting a company or government agency flat out of business. Look at the disaster on the Colonial Pipeline, where it was down for a little under a week and prices of gasoline went up and there were shortages because it wasn't working properly. This is an area that we, the United States, must pay a lot more attention to. And we have to get the cooperation of our allies around the world to put pressure on those who would house ransomware attackers in their midst and do nothing, which is a tacit approval of their actions. So I leave you with that this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.